Rather infamously, Guardian is the worst character in Night Rain. I don't think that's the case. Personally, I think Executor is the worst character by quite a wide margin. In solos, Recluse is probably worse just because her moveset and her weapons and stuff are not good for solo play. But I have really learned to appreciate Guardian for a very specific reason that I'll link in the description and put in the cards. There's a video that really highlights how Guardian can be played well. And I took it up on myself to attempt to do that. I am not using the Evergel Relic because I feel like that's a cop-out. Every character gets decent damage with the Evergel Relic. Instead, I'm using Starting Armament, deals fire damage, and fire attack power up +2. And then Dark Knight of the Beast, which is stamina recovery upon landing attacks. Taking attacks improves attack power and fire attack power up +2. And then the Stone Stake, which you get from the Remembrance. I would be using the Witch's Brooch because the heal is very, very nice to have, but unfortunately, I think that fire damage is just more important. Now, with the Night Rain DLC coming out tomorrow, depending on when I upload this video, I wanted to try and do more Night Rain content, and I'm curious if this will do well with the DLC coming out, because I really love Night Rain, and I would love to make more Night Rain content, but it just does not do well on my channel. I think the last Night Rain video I did got maybe 400 views or something. Also, Guardian skill is insanely good. It nullifies any small enemy, and for big enemies, well, okay, if I can hit them. For big enemies, it keeps up stance pressure and also just does a bunch of stance damage. Guardian is the healthiest character by far as well. Or not by far, I guess Raider does have quite a bit of health as well, but Guardian does have a little bit more vitality. I'm not necessarily reliant on getting a good fire weapon, because obviously my starting halberd does fire, though it would be very nice to get another halberd of some sort, because the jump attacks on the double, the power stance halberd moveset is actually like really, really good. Let's see if I can hit the inside. Oh my god. Yeah, whoa, I am surprised I dodged that. The stance damage on that skill, especially the extended duration version, is so, so good on bigger enemies, even if they don't micro stagger from it. Living Stone 1, that'll be nice to have. Consumables are actually really good. I feel like people kind of sleep on consumables. I guess that won't really be the case with Scholar coming out, but as of right now, I feel like people sleep on consumables quite a bit, especially early game. Not off to the fastest start, but it's not a bad start either. So Beastly Brigade does not micro stagger, unfortunately. The Beastmen of Farum Azula do, which makes them a lot easier as Guardian, because you can micro stagger them with the skill. But the three big ones in the Beastly Brigade do not micro stagger, unfortunately. Guardian has the weakest dodge in the game. I believe by like a frame or two on other characters, but also I think Duchess has the second weakest, but she gets a double dodge, which kind of nullifies that anyway. So Guardian is by far the worst dodge in the game. I think it's only a 10 frame dodge. Oh my goodness. Okay, you need to get out of the air. The flying ones are always so annoying. Oh my god. The skill has a charged and an uncharged version. The uncharged version comes out faster, but doesn't last as long. The main difference is... Stance breaking is so much better. The main difference is if you don't have the extended skill duration relic, the main difference is just the size. But if you do have the extended skill duration, the charged version lasts 2 seconds longer, is bigger, and deals more stance damage as far as I know. So the extended skill duration is just like basically a requirement of Guardian. Every single one of my builds with Guardian has the stake, and if it doesn't have the stake, it has something else that also has the extended skill duration, and preferably a skill cooldown reduction. I think the Witch's Brooch is going to be your best third relic. Or, Witch's Brooch Stone Stake is just going to be like a good combo if you're playing with people. Solo, the Witch's Brooch is really, really nice to have, but it's not required by any means. This is a shield boss. Honestly, wait, what the? Oh my goodness. Knowing when to use your shield as Guardian is by far the most important part of playing him. You should not be using your shield, honestly, the vast majority of the time. Guard counters are really, really good for stance damage, and that's it. They are awful for damage. They are slow. They are know, like even with stance damage, you're relying on the boss to attack you frequently enough, you know, for that to come into play. And you're relying on the boss not attacking frequently enough so that you can actually do that. So it's like a really... Is that the same sound effects as the Bloodstarved Beast? Ulting, because that's easier. And I hate this boss. Nice. Stance damage is so important as Guardian. At least for how you should be playing him. Ow. Ow. That's dead. Okay. Skill issue. I also just really, really do not like Revenant. The boss, not the character. The character's fun. Another character that I feel is very unfairly maligned a lot of the time. God damn it. If you build Revenant correctly, and specifically don't use her Remembrance stuff, Revenant can actually be a very, very good character. Her Remembrance stuff and skill and whatever are fairly underwhelming the majority of the time, but as long as you don't rely on her skill and don't rely on her Remembrance stuff for your build, she's actually not that bad. She's not really a worse recluse, like a lot of people like to say. No. That's a good time to heal. No, it's not, as it turns out. Hey, nice. I was really hoping for a stance break there. I'm glad I gauged that correctly. Guardian in trios, you kind of have to play him differently in solo. It's not like dramatically different by any means, but it's definitely different. Because you need to play a lot more aggressive in solos to actually keep aggro to function as a tank, you know? As opposed to solos where you're gonna have aggro no matter what. No. No, come on. Oh my god. That was close. Enhances guard counters. Okay. I don't use guard counters all that often, like I said, but if you know how and when to use them, they can be pretty good in some circumstances. Poise tanking as Guardian is often the right choice. Not shield tanking, but poise tanking like you would with Raider. Because Guardian does have a comparable amount of poise on top of, you know, not losing a significant amount of damage if you happen to have slightly more poise for some reason. Which, if you don't know, Guardian's skill he has like a charged version of his skill that actually takes longer to activate if you have more poise for some reason. Like you have to take more damage to activate the charged version of this skill, which is very strange. Guardian does not have that downside, so you can stack as much poise on Guardian as you want with no downside and arguably quite a bit of upside. We got Ordovis. Ordovis's would actually be pretty nice. Well, if I didn't have that fire damage, actually. Fire Sword Spear. Okay, yeah, I'll take that. It's very, very rare that I don't get level 15 on solo. The few times it does happen is because I get Revenant in basement and I spend way too long fighting it. Usually I'm also running Evergel Relic, so yeah, I do the meta strat and get like level 11 on day 1. I decided to not run Evergel Relic here, which is pretty rare for me actually. It does kind of lead to just clearing castle and then doing whatever camp or whatever damage type. Oh my goodness. Dark Souls 2 problems. Where is the Cemetery Shade? I would really like to take that one out. Here you are. His skill deflects projectiles, including the Cemetery Shade's grapple projectile, which is really, really nice. The moveset on the halberd can make it a little difficult to hit Freya. That's bad. That's fine. But as long as you're being a little bit careful to have your positioning correct, it's not too bad to hit her. What are you doing? Oh my god. Wait, really? Hold on, only 2 charge attacks for a stagger? That's insane. If I hadn't got unlucky and grabbed by that spider. I swear to god, I've never been grabbed by a spider more than once in a Freya fight. And they're never this aggressive. This is the worst possible scenario. I have no idea why she's being so aggressive like this. This never happens. The R1s are probably admittedly better for hitting the head, but less stance damage, so it's less cool. So overall, I think the R2s are better as long as you can land them relatively consistently. What are you doing? There we go. I should do it. None of these are very good. So first and foremost, cave. If I had Witch's Brooch, I don't even think I would worry about the healing. But because, I don't have that continuous heal, I am a little bit more worried about it. Crucible Feather, I mean, okay, better dodging is probably best used on Guardian if you're going to get something that improves your dodging, but Crucible Feather decreasing your damage resistance, or, increasing the damage you take or whatever. I don't know how much those differences matter, to be honest. It can be pretty detrimental. So personally, I'm not going to take Crucible Feather on Guardian, but I would definitely take improved dodging on Guardian if I happen to get it. That's extremely unfortunate. Wow, that sucks. That was a lot of wasted time just because I forgot to grab healing earlier, but okay. Do you have anything else that I would want? No, not at all. Yeah, the power stance moveset in general is really good, but the jump attacks, I think, are where the moveset really shines. Usually this guy is really aggressive. I don't know why he's just not. I guess it's because I'm playing solo, actually. The Sword Spear has a unique moveset on characters that aren't Guardian, and it's a really, really fun moveset. It's actually one of my favorite movesets in the game. It's really unfortunate that Guardian just doesn't get to use it, despite Halberds being his preferred class. Or I guess it's specifically because Halberds are his preferred class. He just doesn't get the cool bonus moveset. Oops. Oh my god. Unlucky. Yeah, his poise doesn't really help you when you're... Oh my god. In midair. I really hate the Banished Knights just because they counter every single character perfectly. They have attacks that surround them, so going for crits as Duchess doesn't work. Their wind deflects projectiles, so that counters Recluse, Iron Eye, Revenant. It's just a whole combination of unfortunate counters. I think I'm doing less stance damage, actually, because the Sword Spear just doesn't do any stance damage. I would love a Commander Standard instead. Sword Spear and Wilder, they're a bunch of, like, random weapons that I want to do runs with, and, like, make little videos out of them, because they're such rare weapons with cool movesets. Like, I mean, the Sword Spear on Wilder is definitely one of them. And I did a test run with that using a mod to, like, guarantee myself the weapon, and it was really, really fun. I really love that moveset. This guy's probably resistant to fire, huh? God, get deflected. Oh, that one wasn't a projectile. Yeah, I think the best part about that skill, though, is it keeps stance damage up, right? It does stance damage itself, but it also keeps the stance damage that you've already dealt. So it doesn't, like, let the posture bar refill if you've played Sekiro. Ow. Ow. What? Is that even possible to dodge as Guardian? Ooh. Can you jump that? I should have tried to jump it. This is such a terrible spot to put me. Why would it put me down here? I'm not gonna get back up to it before the storm starts closing. That's so f***ed up, actually. You should not be able to spawn you down here when you're on top of the castle. Okay, Jesus. I think I'm gonna take increased damage after crit, honestly. Axe of Godric is just not that good. If it was like Axe of Godfrey, I would have taken it, but Axe of Godric is just not worth it. I think this run was kind of screwed over by getting Revenant in the basement. I guess I could have just not fought it, but Revenant feels so easy a lot of the time, and then you get there under leveled and there's just nothing you can do. God, is there anything I can even do to get more runes? I could try to fight Loretta, but I don't think I'm gonna have the damage for that. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do this. Wow, that is so unfortunate. If she had used any other move, I would have been perfectly fine. That's so unfortunate. This run is mired in bad luck. Bad luck that's made worse by bad decisions, too. I just shouldn't have fought that Revenant in the basement earlier. That was just not worth it at all. Alright. Oh, good. Deathrite Bird, my favorite. The only bright side here is that the whirlwind actually will kill the enemies after they go down, so I don't need to worry about that. Okay. That's extremely unfortunate, actually. That's also not very much damage. I had holy damage last time I was here, and I kind of melted him, but obviously I don't have holy damage now. I also had a... Yeah, what I had was a Gargoyle's Halberd and my Fire Guardian's Halberd, and he just did not stand a chance. I have decent poise damage, though, at least. This is actually the perfect attack to ult through. Just gotta wait for the frost fire to go away. Ghost flame, that's what it's called. I'm surprised I dodged that. Why did that miss? Oh my god. I just cannot land an attack. That's really bad. I might die here. Yep, okay. It's one death. At least I have my revive, but if I die again, that's it, and I do not get another revive. Oh, thank god. His complete lack of iframes is by far his biggest detriment, and learning to play around that against certain enemies is very, very difficult. Level 14 is not the worst. I'm gonna grab the winding because I'm bad at the video game. Ow. Oh my god. That was a stupid fast stance break. What the hell? Easy game. This attack, you can iframe that. It is stupid difficult to iframe it. Highly recommend just running. I kind of just want him to stay in the whirlwind as long as possible so I can get poise damage. Ulting. Okay. That was way faster than I was expecting it to be. It always is, Jesus. Ow. There we go. If you don't know, Libra is actually weak to fire damage, which is why I'm using a fire build on Libra. Which presumably is because all sources of... Oh, I shouldn't have used my ult when I did. Oh. All sources of fire damage, or all sources of madness, rather, are fire damage, so it makes sense for Libra to be weak to fire. Now it rotates, which is annoying. That felt like a very unnecessary teleport, my guy. Ow. Insane skill issue. Oh my god. Iframes. Stop it. Damn it. Okay. I was hoping for iframes on the crit, but I didn't get them. Not in time, anyway. Oh, you can jump that. I never even thought about doing that. Okay. Rocks. Ow. I was not expecting just the surge sprint to run out exactly when it did. That was unfortunate. I'm really bad at stamina management with Birdie. That's by far... That hit me? That's by far the hardest part about playing Guardian is learning stamina management with how much stamina all of his attacks use. At least with the Halberd. There we go. Yeah, not too terrible. Not a good fight, but, you know, could be worse. Anyway, yeah, Guardian is not that bad. I have played him like 8 games now after trying to learn to get good with him, and I've been having a lot of fun. I really, really enjoy Guardian when you just play him a little bit more aggressively than the game would lead you to believe when you have a shield. He doesn't do a ton of damage, admittedly, but with the stance damage that he puts out and how well he can keep it up, it's pretty good. It really, really feels like FromSoft just does not want Guardian to be good, though, or they think that Guardian is already like the best character because they refuse to buff his damage at all, despite people, so many people complaining about his tiny damage output, at least relative to other Night Pharaohs in specific ways. But you can get that DPS if you know what you're doing. And again, that was without Everjails. I'm gonna play my other Libra fight, which was much faster and, in my opinion, much more impressive on my part. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know how to end this.